saw you dancing like heavy smoke. Have you fixed that treasured heart that's so broke? Here isn't safe, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody is listening? Heaven is getting closer to the earth, and someday I'll set you free, I promise. There's no time to lose, the world is closing in, and we're still here. We are, so what's the rush? Feeling like a dream. Who will we be crying for tonight? We lost but never found. Fear is not around. We can't turn this world around. This will be the end of treason as we know it. This will be the death of anger, 'cause we won't show it. Here isn't safe, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody's listening? Heaven is getting closer to the earth, and someday I'll set you free, I promise. There's no time to lose, the world is closing in, and we're still here. We are, so what's the rush? Feeling like a dream. Who will we be crying for tonight? We lost but never found. Fear is not around. We can't turn this world around. I saw you dancing like heavy smoke. Have you fixed that treasured heart that's so broke? Here isn't safe, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody is listening? Heaven is getting closer
What's up, vape fam? Hope everybody's doing good. It's been a while. Keep trying to get everything rolling to where everything's just kind of constant and then life gets in the way. But I do have several reviews coming up, and they're not going to be live reviews. These are all things companies have sent me coming up, and they don't really like live reviews so much because they want to see the review before you actually post it. Now, everyone that I've worked with knows that they're never going to say anything to be like, hey, what if we do this? Will you change your opinion? No, I won't. But if I happen to miss something that they want mentioned about it that's just statistical, I'm fine with adding that in, whatever the case may be. But if a company's sending me something, I normally am going to have to do it as a pre-recorded review, but I don't mind that at all. Just got to kind of figure out how to get the time, but I've got several things coming in, so I'm going to have to figure out how to make the time. One of those, we're actually going to build up tonight, but I'm not really going to tell you too much about what I think. You'll just get kind of you get to see it built, and then we'll vape on it for a little bit, but I'll leave all my opinions of it until Monday. Monday is when the review for this will be up. What we're going to build up as far as that goes is the Blaze Max. I think it looked absolutely amazing on the Ampere 21 here. Some people are not big on RTAs on mech mods. I don't know why. I dig them. All right, so also what we're going to do tonight is a little bit of everything. We're going to mix up some recipes that I've been working on. Then we're going to do a bunch of different builds. Well, like 3 different builds and then a rewick. So for one of these, I'm going to do a fruit recipe. And normally with fruit, I kind of stick to single coil, usually on a regulated mod kind of setup. So I've got nitrous here that we're just going to rewick, and then we'll try out this recipe. Hope everybody's doing good in chat. Let's see who all we got out here. Cicero, what's up, brother? Hungry Hippo, microwave oven. Just Josh is apparently creeping, but I get that. I am a night shift person, so in a lot of live streams, I'm kind of like, hey, I'm here, but probably not going to say a lot. Or if you say something to me and I don't answer, it's just because I'm at work. That kind of deal. Ice Big Red, what's going on? Kevin, what's up, brother? Steve-O, how's it going, man? Glad you all came out. I was a little worried about it being at 10 p.m. that I wouldn't have a whole lot of people come out, but you know, kind of just had to do it when I had the time to do it. So the recipes that we're going to do up, one of them is a recipe I've been actually hunting for, that I was hoping somebody else did one. And if you're a fan of cheesecakes and you've ever had New York cheesecake, then you know it's pretty different than your kind of standard cheesecake that you have out there. It doesn't have that tanginess to it because there's no sour cream in it. There's usually heavy whipping cream. So it ends up being a lot more creamy, but there's also a lot more cream cheese. So it ends up being denser all at the same time. It's a very unique cheesecake. Love New York cheesecake. There's not a lot of recipes out there that just focus on trying to be a New York style cheesecake, or there's not a lot of good ones. I should say that. Well, not really a lot, period. I did find a handful of them. Only one of them was halfway decent, but it still wasn't really what I was looking for. So I just said hell with it and went ahead and made my own. Now, again, as usual, YouTube screams at me about bitrate on my audio, which is exactly where they say I should have it, but they don't think I do. So if at any point the audio cuts off, let me know in chat. It never has. And I don't know what's up with YouTube. It just loves to scream at me here and there about that. I don't know if it's an issue between YouTube and OBS, because it didn't do it until OBS updated, I think, to the 30 version. But yeah, normally it's fine. But if something does actually happen, let me know. Sounds fine. Cool. See what's going on here. Stream is just what the doctor ordered after I had to cancel mine yesterday. Oh, damn, that sucks, man. I know how that goes. I definitely have been there. I thought I was going to have to do it tonight because it kept dropping frames on me just kind of before going live, where you kind of go ahead and link up the stream, see how everything's doing health wise. And then for some reason, suddenly it just dropped a ton of frames. But then that kind of just stopped happening. So hopefully everything runs smooth. Let's see what else is going on. 4 a.m. stream. Where you at, microwave oven? You in Europe? You have to be in Europe if it's 4 a.m. All right, let's see here. Big Red. Snag any Black Friday vape stuff. I got an RDA for vaping V2 in white at 40% off. Hell yeah, nice. I dig those in white. They had the orange that I never ended up getting. I really should have. But the RDA for vaping V2 was one of those I was just like, I don't know. I was disappointed in because it can be so much more than it is. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing RDA, which is why I should have just gone ahead and bought the damn orange one when they had it. But I was being stubborn because I really wanted a bunch of different airflow rings, airflow inserts to it. But he never ended up doing that. I don't know if he will, especially now that he's over in Indonesia. So New York strawberry rhubarb cheesecake is the bomb. That sounds pretty damn good. I'm just looking for a straight up New York cheesecake, which is what I did up. Might be coating vape stuff again. I've seen a bunch of that on his Instagram of doing a bunch of vape stuff coating. Now, he did say before that if he had done something for you, he would continue to do your stuff. So I don't know if any of those are just people that, have already had him coat stuff. So he's just kind of saying, okay, you're a pre-existing customer, so I'll do your stuff. I need to reach out to him because he did this right here, the Orange Dreamer. But that's the only thing I've ever had him do. So I've always been a little leery about reaching out to see if, after only doing one thing, if he would still do mine. But if he's just kind of doing vape stuff in general again, that would be awesome. I got 2 VGod Pro Drip RDAs, just 20 euros. Those weren't even Black Friday sales, just nice. They grabbed it and a couple bottles of juice from Coil Clout. Microwave oven, you're in the Netherlands. Nice. All right. As far as like Black Friday vape stuff, I didn't really snag up anything. I found a sale on an overseas site for this right here, the Pro Vape Cotton, and I ordered up a ton of it just because it breaks in quick and it's just ridiculously easy because it's already the perfect size. It's kind of like having the shoelace cotton, but you can cut it to whatever size you want. You're not necessarily wasting any. And I really dig it. It's just easy, especially for something like a live stream. It's just quick, easy, bam, there you go. Let's do it. Then I had a few companies reach out to me around kind of the Black Friday time, but as far as ordering anything, I did order up the Viking RDA because so many people were telling me about it. They were like, over the last several months, people have been reaching out saying, hey, have you seen this Viking RDA? Have you tried the Viking RDA? Do you own it? Are you going to do a review for it? Blah, 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 blah. So I ordered up one of those. It's already a super cheap RDA. It looks very much like the Asgard, not going to lie, just with slightly different airflow. But I'm still interested in it because so many people reached out to me and said, hey, have you seen this thing? So I will eventually get that in. I'll definitely do a review for it as well. That one will probably be a live review, but everything else that's coming will be standard, kind of pre-recorded. Didn't get any vape stuff. Got the kids' gifts though. Got my son a sick Logitech racing wheel. Nice. That's what we've been doing recently. I have girls, so they're not super interested in gaming stuff, but shoes and things like that we've been trying to round up. And then after that, we're not sure because they're not sure. They're not sure what they want, so we're just kind of trying to find something that we think they'll like to round it all out. But as far as what I've been vaping on most of this evening, it's right here. The Matterhorn from Snowcat Mods with the Asgard Mini on top. And I've got my whipped cheesecake recipe in this one. This is what I've been like taking to work with me and just vaping around the house. I love this recipe. Apparently Dave Lloyd does too. Dave Lloyd's mentioned it a few different times on live streams. So I knew he had tried it and must like it because he's mentioned it a few different times. Then the Cathella from Deathwish Mods. Love this mech. And then I've got the Dead Rabbit V3 on top. And I've got my butter cookie custard that I've been vaping on this one. Dig that recipe as well. Definitely an oldie but a goodie. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this first recipe. I'm going to do the New York cheesecake starting out. Because that's what I want to drip in the first thing that we're going to build. And two of these that we're going to build are actually going to be Asgards, the 30 millimeter. But it's because I want to use my 01 and my 0X. And these are my two favorite RDAs to use on both of these mechs. Both of them obviously come from Zero Mods, 3D printed. I absolutely love these things. This right here is the hardest hitting single battery mechanical mod I think I've ever come across. Tony just does absolutely amazing work. And the 01 is extremely hard hitting as well. All right, let's take a look at this recipe. Well, maybe. There we go. All right, so this is just Sorteal's New York cheesecake. So I wanted to do it up where it's just straight up New York cheesecake. No strawberry, no anything like that. So I ended up just kind of pairing together Perillum's New York cheesecake and Capella's New York cheesecake. Both, I would say kind of high, but not really. Maybe Capella's New York cheesecake at 3% is a little high, but Perillum's, well, most of their stuff you got to use at 3 or 4%. So this is about standard for them. I did not want to use like Perillum's cheesecake graham crust or TFA's cheesecake graham crust, because it would introduce kind of that tanginess that you get from a regular cheesecake. Neither one of those have a whole lot of cheesecake to them, but they do have a little bit, and it would kind of introduce that tang of the sour cream that I don't want. So instead of that, I went with FA's graham crust, 2%, then a little bit of Capella sweet cream for creaminess, and then just one-on-one's whipped cream on top. Went with one-on-one whipped cream because it's such a good whipped cream at kind of mixing everything together slightly, but then still remaining in the recipe clearly as whipped cream. Something like TFA's whipped cream is better at just mixing everything together, but then it just kind of vanishes. Whereas one-on-one still comes through as whipped cream, and it's an extremely good one. All right. I do not have two camera setups for this, so kind of see the whole mixing thing, but we will go ahead mix on this. I am going to add Lavora's sweetness to this. Add about 0.5% just to sweeten it up. We'll do about 30 mils. I'm kind of one of those, you see a lot of people that will mix up like 5 and 10 mil testers, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Basically because I don't know. I think the recipe tastes different the less overall you have, just because it can be a little bit harder to get those measurements perfect. So usually I'll mix up at least 30 mils to kind of test something. Because even if I mix it up at 10 and I'm like, okay, that's good, as soon as I mix it up at 30 mils or more, it tastes slightly different. And I think it just has to do with how accurate, you know, it's easier to get accurate with kind of weighing it on a scale when you're doing a higher milliliter mix. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Capella's New York cheesecake. Be 0.9. I'm gonna try and just hurry up with this. Capella sweet cream, which I don't have out here. Hang on. This one is going to be 0.3. Then FA graham crust, 0.6. Perfect. Then 1-on-1 whipped cream, 0.45. And then Perillam's New York cheesecake, 1.05. There we go. I don't use much nicotine at all, as you can clearly tell. All right. VG 22.7. There we go. All right. Got that all done up. All right. What did I miss here? Got a high-end knife sharpener from Ukraine, diamond stone from Japan, and a bunch of knives. Starting the sharpening biz soon. Matterhorn is only device from Snowcap that I don't own. It's a damn good one. I love it. All right, so we got that mixed up. We need a build. We need a build to vape it. Haven't used FA graham crust in quite a while. I'm gonna have to pull that one out and use it for something. Yeah, it's damn good. I like using it in something like this better than something like TFA's Graham Cracker Clear. I just think it works better. It's got a little more moisture in it. Like TFA's Graham Cracker Clear tastes like graham cracker. It just is dry. But FA's graham crust actually has some moisture in it. Matterhorn's a squonker. No, it's just a single battery mech. The Avalanche is the squonker. I like the gram at 2%. I find it takes at least that for it to come through most mixes. I agree. It's a little weak, at least for what it is. You would normally think a gram would come through at even about 1%, but you got to kind of crank that one up. Goes great with RY4. I can see that. All right. Let's jump to the up close. Out of the way, Capella Sweet Cream. Actually, I'm going to take this off here. We're not going to build this on a mech. I'm not going to lie. I do actually do that every once in a while if I'm in a hurry. But we're not going to do that today. Okay. They all backed out already. So I'm going to use some Coilology Aliens in this. I'm actually running kind of low on my handmade coils. So for most things stream-wise, I'll be using the stuff I have a shitload of. Like the Coilology Aliens and the Watofo Aliens. But both of those coils are extremely good. I finally found where I can get Coilology coils again without being limited to like no selection whatsoever at the few standard online vape places. And that's like they set up a partnership shop through, what is it, AliExpress or whatever, which I do not like that whole thing, that whole app site, whatever you want to call it. But I have not had a problem as far as any of the Coilology stuff going through that site or app. Probably should have cut these a lot longer for this one, but I think this might be all right. I do want them as close to the airflow as I can get, so I think it'll be all right. Grab my coiling rod without hitting anything. Yeah, I think that'll work fine. Doesn't look too bad at all. See where we're at here. 0.08. Turn this down. I love this orange Asgard. The only problem is I have almost nothing orange mod wise that matches up perfectly with this particular type of orange. I have a couple of regulated mods that actually match up with it, but they're built more for 22 to 25 millimeter atomizers, not 30. Jason Vapes, what's up? Speaking of handmade coils, made some 0.08 2.5 millimeter 3x26 by 36 today. They're rowdy, nice. I like seeing a lot more coil building going on. If I would ever upgrade my camera setup, I would definitely do some coil building on the channel. I like how Wayne over DIY or Die has started to do it as well. I really enjoy watching his streams where he does some mixing and then does a little bit of coil building and then some installs. He's trying to do a little bit of everything over there and I dig it. I'm down for it. If you guys don't follow DIY or Die, mainly because, you know, you might not be that into DIY e-liquid, you should definitely, now's the time to go over there and check Wayne out, because he's doing more than just e-liquid mixing nowadays. Now, as you can see, I finally got glasses again. I've needed them the whole time, but the pair that I had before that were like completely transparent frames, I don't know if you guys remember from videos and live streams past, I was driving one day and they just literally fell apart on my face. I don't know what happened. I hadn't been adjusting them, messing with them, anything. The frames were just crap and they just fell apart and fell off my face while I was driving. And then after that, I did not go back to get, glasses again. I'm not really sure why. I think it just came down to time and then my health. I didn't feel good. And then finally, my dropping frames again, or is it just this camera? I think it's just this up close camera connection. But anyway, so I finally got new ones. I really dig these and I have needed them for a while. All right, grab some of this Pro Vape cotton here. Hopefully this camera's connection doesn't freak out again. See what we came out to. 0.1 on the money. That's good. My Lord. Oh, this camera is killing me. I don't know why its Wi-Fi connection to everything else is freaking out. Hopefully it clears up. Not having a good, and it doesn't. Not having good luck with connections tonight, apparently. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Shake our liquid up a little bit more. Just about to mention, Wayne, those are fun to watch. Yeah, I agree. Been meaning to do more mixing on my live. Need to organize my flavors better. Your 10 mils anyway. Yeah, my 10 mils are all just kind of lumped together, and it's actually like a photo album thing. Like it's got small little boxes for, I'm assuming it's supposed to be photos, and then they all slot into this bigger box. Well, just so happens that 10 mils kind of fit in those smaller boxes really well, so I've got them all in those inside the bigger boxes. If we got time in a second, I'll yank one out and show you what I'm talking about. Oh, it's got to go up more than that. There we go. Another thing I like about this Pro Vape Cotton, I hate the name. I've said that a million times. I hate that name. It's so stupid. But it's definitely Crackle City cotton. It's kind of, I don't know. To me, at least, it's thin for cotton. For a 3mm, I think it's slightly thin. But that also makes it kind of crackle like crazy. And it actually lasts a pretty decent amount of time, which I was shocked about. All right. Here we go. Go ahead and jump back up top, vape on this on here for a minute. Then we'll swap it over to the 01. Also, we can kind of test out our New York cheesecake recipe here. Crank this wattage up a lot more than it is. Do about 90 watts starting out. I think that'll work good. Here we go. Man, that's pretty damn good. That's actually really good. Feels a little light with it being 0.1 and just having it at 90 watts. So let's crank it. I cranked it up to 115. Saw the cheesecake base to the recipe, but didn't catch the rest. There's no fruit or compote. It's just New York cheesecake straight up. So it's got the 2 cheesecakes, Capella sweet cream, 1-on-1 whipped cream, and then Flavor Arts graham crust. It's just straight up New York cheesecake. But trying to do it without any of the other cheesecakes, just so I don't get that kind of sour cream tang in there. Oh, that's really good. It's not shorting out on me at 115, so I think we're good to go ahead and slap it on 01. Go ahead and swap over. Hopefully the camera doesn't freak out on me again. Oh my Lord, there we go. All right. So with this one, I don't screw it all the way down in. Then I'll go ahead, stick my battery in there, then tighten it down. There we go. All right. I'm wondering which one this is. Oh no, this is the good one. Other one, the plate came out of, and I had to kind of reposition it and bolt it back down. This one I think needs a little bit of a touch here. There we go. All the sled and everything, all the contact components in this are silver. That's a damn good cheesecake. It's a damn good New York cheesecake. There's no real tang to it. It's just creamy. You've got the cream cheese taste, and then a lot of kind of the heavy cream going on. And it would be easy to add something to this. If you wanted to do this as strawberry, you could easily add a strawberry or two to this, and there you go. Or if you wanted to do really whatever kind of cheesecake you wanted, blueberry, what have you, this would be easy to add to. Things at Cloud Chucker. But yeah, I really like that recipe a lot. It sounds good. All the cheesecakes I've seen, especially commercial, have a fruit that overpowers it. Yeah, I agree. Most like strawberry cheesecake, especially commercial, but also DIY. With strawberry cheesecakes, at least, I think there's way too much strawberry in most of them. And then when I do one, I'll get like people say, there's not enough strawberry in this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's nothing but strawberry with a little bit of cheesecake behind it. So I tend to tone my fruits with cheesecake down big time, depending on what it is. Blueberry, I'll go a little bit more, a little bit higher, but with strawberry, like I just released a strawberry cheesecake recipe that had Wonder Flavor strawberry cheesecake in there. And then I just did like 0.5% of shisha strawberry to kind of add a little bit of glazy strawberry to it. And it worked great, but I still think it has a little bit too much strawberry if you ask me. All right. I wish I knew what was up with this. Everything's fine, but it's not very tight. I don't know what I've done to it. It may just be the fact that it's a P45B. Come on. Yeah, I think it's just P45B. And then it's fine. So I don't know. Probably need to mess with the sled a little bit on that one. All right, so next one I want to do, I'm actually going to use one of the recipes I already have mixed up. So we're going to go ahead and build it. And it's just another Asgard. But it's for the 0X, which I think it's easily the hardest hitting single battery mech that I own. The thing is a monster. I didn't clean this up very well. Well, turds, cherry cheesecake is okay, but it's mostly that cherry. BB Party has been my go-to lately. Yeah, I agree with the Coil Turds cherry cheesecake. It's all cherry to me. I don't get much cheesecake. It's like a cherry cream, basically. There's a little bit of tang to it, but not much. I do like Licious raspberry white chocolate cheesecake. I think he did a good job with that one. As far as the raspberry's not insanely heavy, and it's a really nice balance of the raspberry white chocolate and the cheesecake base. I think he's done amazing with pretty much all of the recipes, the e-liquids that he's released. That new, I've got it over here, the boysenberry jam scone. When he told me that he was doing it, I was a little leery because I just didn't think the scone would come through at all with it being boysenberry. I just didn't know if, unless he was getting custom made boysenberry flavor, I didn't think it was going to come through very well, but it does. All of it is extremely good, and the jamminess to it is just on point. And his lemon tart is also one of my favorites. What is going on with this coil? I don't know if I backed this one out enough. It's too long for the other leg where it was kind of janked up. Yep. It's like one of the coils was already kind of janked up in it. See what we can do with it. If anybody saw my live review for the Asgard V2 and the Nightmare V2, I'm still using both of those heavily and on the same mechanical mods. So I still have the Asgard V2 on the Chaos from Silvercraft Creations, and I still have the Nightmare V2, the 28mm one, on the Ampere 21, the black one. I love both those atomizers. I gotta say, I don't know, it's hard. I think the flavor off the Asgard 2 is a little bit better, but I kind of like the Nightmare V2 overall a little better. I like the airflow to it, the pull off of it a little better. See, here's where this one's all janked up. Right there. And it was like that when I pulled it out of the... I don't know. Hopefully it'll be all right. But it was like that as soon as I pulled it out. It just kind of had a weird gap to that last coil, like it got wrapped funny. .08 again. Hopefully this one should turn out about the same, right at 0.1. Oh, turn it down too much. Has everybody been keeping track of the FDA and Triton, or what are they called now? The white something is what the court calls it. But the Supreme Court hearing is over. And I have not checked today, but I don't think they've said anything yet, and it'll probably be a while before they do. And also, it's not one of those kind of Supreme Court cases where you're necessarily going to get like a statement, an overall statement from the justices. It very well could be the Supreme Court just says we're going to uphold the federal court's ruling, and then they won't really say anything else about it. But I'm hoping we get some statements. Just Nick's Instagram stories. I'm so glad he actually went to DC. That is awesome of him. Everyone should applaud Nick for that shit. We probably should have tried to get together a whole kind of group to go up there, for those that could at least. But I'm glad he's there. Out of anybody in the vape community, he's who I'd want up there more than anyone else, including myself. because I think he's probably, as far as kind of the vape community overall, that's not actually like part of tobacco control or had previously been a part of tobacco control or anything like that. I think he's the biggest advocate we have, and he does he definitely does his homework, that's for sure. Don't like that gap in that one coil, and it just will not pinch together and close up. One of the bad things sometimes with these coilology coils is the non-handmade ones. They do have handmade ones as well, but the machine-made ones, sometimes it takes forever to get the hot spots out of them. What did I do with my cotton? That's not it. That's a new one. Maybe it's this. It's this. Yay. It actually turned out a nice shade of blue, even though it's got that damn janked up coil. But yeah, I think it's probably going to be a little bit before we hear anything about that. I could be wrong. I think even Nick said that he thought it might be a while. But again, they may just come out and say they're going to uphold the federal ruling, and that's it. But if that's the case, that's good for us, because the last federal court that heard the case really gave it to the FDA. But I'm kind of hoping they actually do come out and say something publicly. I don't know. I guess I'm saying that from the stance of I'm just really hopeful that they're going to come out on, not necessarily on our side, but on the side of the fact that the FDA can't really do that. Federal agency can't have something like what the PMTA is and then move the goalpost, change the rules in the middle of it. It's just not allowed. So I'm hoping, if nothing else, they come out and say something about that. But also, I would not mind if the highest court in the land came out and kind of chastised the FDA, because to say that they knew what they were doing is an understatement. They definitely knew what they were doing. And I think the FDA got blindsided. They thought there's no way in hell that more than a handful of the larger vape companies and the ones that are owned or partially owned by big tobacco will be able to file PMTAs. And then they ended up with what they ended up with, and they were like, oh shit, we don't have the people to do this. Let's just change the rules so we can deny this huge chunk. And I'm sorry, but you can't do that. Well, you're not supposed to be able to do that. I guess we'll see if they're able to do that or not. And then the Republican Party has wanted to knock the FDA down a peg or two for a while. Most people in the Republican Party think the FDA has too much authority, too much reach, and that they hinder free market in a way. So with all the conservative justices that we have, I'm kind of hoping that they land on the side of let's beat up on the FDA a little bit here, since they've been doing it to everybody else for so long. I've got a huge bottle. That's why I'm not showing. It's my vanilla pudding and cookies. It's just a big 500 ml bottle that I've had forever. So it's kind of hard to drip it on with the overhead cam here. My overhead cam is a lot closer than most people's. Give it a go. You can sort of do it. Wages and white line. Thank you, Steve-O. I had to look it up again because it was bugging me. Janky bit adds character. It might. You never know. That might be the most flavorful part of that coil. Like, man, it's pretty flavorful, but there on the left side, man, something about that. The left side of my mouth gets punched with flavor. All right. So, yeah, I just really hope. I mean, honestly, I don't see how they could come out on the side of the FDA. I really don't. But, I mean, it could happen. I think it would be a travesty, and I'd be like, what the fuck? But it for sure could happen. See what our coil came out to. 0.1 on the money. Nice. We'll start it out again at about 90, 95 watts. Wherever it lands when I stop. Closer to 95. All right. That vanilla pudding and cookies is an amazing recipe. I agree about PB Party. It and Captain Peanut Butter are in my rotation a lot lately. Nice. Okay. I want to try and do this without having to take it out. Ooh, and I can. Nice. All right. Let's crank this up even more. Make sure we're not going to vent our battery or anything like that. Seems there's still way too much questioning against adults needing flavors, yet no one bats an eye at flavored liquors. Well, that is because there's so many people in government that drink. There's not very many people in government that vape. It's not this big, huge thing. Alcohol is used across the board in meetings between senators, between, foreign dignitaries, foreign embassy. It's just used all over the place. So it's kind of one of those things, you don't knock it if it's something that you constantly use, and it's very much looked at as being very American. We have a huge alcohol industry. I mean, the town that I live in would go under if they started getting on flavored alcohol. They would go under. This town would die. So it's kind of, you don't beat up on something you do, I guess. Here we go. Uh-oh. Did it on the wrong side, didn't I? Sure did. All right. Love this mech. You see coils like these coming out to 0.1 in here, and it will hit like they're 0.08s. But I really hope it comes out on the side of vaping. not only just for vaping, but also just because I think the FDA has too much reach. It has too much authority. Oh, I love this mech. I'm so glad I decided to build this up to use with this mech. Only issue with it is this, the little clasp part to it does rattle, or it shakes a little bit, but it's because there's this little plastic piece. I don't know if we can see it in the up close without totally taking it apart, but take this out. Little rubber piece right there that's supposed to stop this from bending back too much. And the one that I have is the original little plastic tube piece down in there. Any of the newer ones have a bigger plastic tube piece. I need to order another one and then see if I pay Tony extra, if he'd build me a new battery sled that has the new plastic piece. But as it is, you gotta kind of bend this up some, and I tend to bend it up and then flatten it out, kind of like that, just so it doesn't bend down as quickly. And then it kind of gets tight. See if that works. Oh yeah, there we go. Cool. But the next time I take that battery out, because it's all silver, it's like solid silver, it's so soft, it's going to stay flattened down, and I'm going to have to do it again. Being that it's silver, I'm afraid I'm going to do it so many times that it's going to break. Oh, good. I really just need to try and find a plastic tube like that and cut off a teeny little piece and hook it on there and see if it works. You know, a fatter one than that. Oh, we're going to do the nitrous. Y'all are talking about the nitrous. I'm going to do this. The next recipe that we're going to do is a guava recipe. I love guava. Like, I have never liked Monster energy drinks ever. And then they came out with a guava one, and I was like, shit, now I have to try it. So I did, and then like I got hooked on them there for a little while, just because they tasted so good, and then I'd be all jazzed up. And normally I don't like energy drinks because of that fact, but they were so good I didn't care. But we're gonna rewick. I don't want to completely change out this coil because it's still good in the nitrous, but we are going to rewick it. Then we'll do up that recipe and give it a go. And this one right here, I think this matches so perfectly. The Armor S with the nitrous, the orange one. Love that matchy match action. Quilly, what's up, brother? Howdy y'all at work. Hope y'all are having a good holidays. I'll be in and out of chat. Cool, brother. I remember you said something in the comments to my short announcing this, that you were going to try and take an early lunch. Their Zero Ultra was my jam. That's what it is. It's the Zero Ultra Guava, whatever. That shit is amazing. And I don't like energy drinks. But you start putting guava in them, I'm going to have to try it. And then I kind of got addicted. I almost bought like 3 more of them today because they were like 3 for $6.50 or $7 something. And around here, at least, it's a damn good deal on them. So I almost bought 3 of them. Then I was like, no, had enough of being that jazzed up for a little while. All right. Because vaping and driving kills people. Seems there's still way too much questioning against. Oh, okay. Blame 5 a.m. brain. Took a look around and my nitrous still looks to be the best option. Ain't piddly poo out there right now. There's really not. Stupid monster Java sold at stupid work. I've not tried any of the Java ones, and I like the flavor of coffee usually, so I'm gonna stay away from those because that will probably end up being another like monster addiction. So I'll stick with the guava ones here and there. Speaking of guava, this thing, it's amazing. The vanilla pudding and cookies. If you're a mixer, check it out on all the flavors. It's an extremely good recipe. I did not think very many people would like it, and then it turned out to be like one of my most viewed and mixed recipes, I think, on all the flavors, next to my vanilla overdose custard, and now my Sorteal's vanilla custard. All right, let me get everything together here for this one. I was also gonna do my butter pecan ice cream. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. That would be that one. Okay. Because I made a butter pecan ice cream recipe, and I love butter pecan ice cream, but I only tend to like crave it in the winter. I don't know what that is. It's like a holiday thing with me. It's the same with white chocolate. White chocolate is available year round, but I only get a craving for it come fall, basically. Right around Halloween, I'll start wanting white chocolate, and then it just gets worse as I go through the holiday season. Same thing with butter pecan, be it pecan pie or butter pecan ice cream. But I really wanted to do a butter pecan ice cream recipe, so did one up. It's on all the flavors too if you guys want to check it out. I really dig that recipe. For the most part, probably in my opinion, the two best butter pecan flavors are Flavor West butter pecan and Perillum's butter pecan and praline ice cream. There's not much else that's really good as far as pecans or butter pecans go. So I just used both of those and amped up Perillum's butter pecan because you kind of have to. It's one of those Perillum flavors you got to jack up there. And then use like Liquid Barn's vanilla ice cream, a couple other things to kind of pump it up some. SSA's whipped cream, which I dig because it's got kind of that buttery note to it. And I thought it turned out really, really fucking well. Apparently nobody else did because like nobody hardly looked at it on all the flavors. But I've noticed pretty much every butter pecan recipe on that site is like that. It's just not a popular profile, I don't guess, but I dig it. But what we're going to do first is this guava. Let me pull it up here first. Oh, I forgot about that one. Do that on a different mix. Different stream. We'll do another mixing stream and do that one. Here we go. Guava-gasm. Such a good name. Just a straight up guava mix. Really? So it's got Capella's fresh guava and Capella's sweet guava as the main guavas. There's a ton of recipes that use Capella's sweet guava with SSA guava, and it's a really good mix. But since Capella released fresh guava, I think the two of them mixed together makes a much better guava overall. For this one, I went high with sweet guava because I wasn't worried about it strangling anything else out or bullying anything else in the mix because it was a pure guava mix. So who cares? Jack it up. And then did a little bit of Capella lemon lime to kind of brighten it up, give it a little bit of extra tartness. Use some Flavora golden kiwi, kind of for the same deal, adds a little bit of brightness to the whole thing. And then FA pear and Inaware cactus to give it a nice kind of juiciness to it, because sometimes sweet guava, to me at least, can be a little dry if there's not something else with it. So go ahead, mix this up. If I can find a place to put some of this shit in my way. All right. Go hit mix. I can't remember. Is there a sweetener in the mix? There is. Super sweet's already in the mix. Okay, cool. See, can you all see that? There we go. Yeah. All right. So Capella's fresh guava. If you like mixing and you're not familiar with Capella's fresh guava, I haven't seen too many reviews of it. I think it's absolutely excellent. Where sweet guava is kind of artificial guava taste, fresh guava is trying to be more realistic. Got a little bit more of a funky note to it, but it's extremely good, especially if you actually like guava in real life. Then you'll probably really like Capella's fresh guava. There we go. Wait, I'm gonna have to redo that. I think this still had some of my last experiment with this in there. All right, here we go. Just wasted some fresh guava. Damn it. All right, then Capella's lemon lime. This stuff is absolutely amazing. Whether or not you want to do like a lemon lime soda, which in my opinion, if you're going to do that, this is pretty much the only, like, you don't need like Wonder Flavors lemon lime soda or anything like that. Just Capella's lemon lime. It almost has the fizz to it and everything. I'm using it low here because I don't really want a ton of lemon lime. I mostly want to kind of brighten it, add a little bit of tartness, and that's kind of about it. Super sweet, I don't have out. Of course I don't. Where did I put it? Let's see. It is like one of the most easily recognizable bottles in my whole collection, but being live, of course, I couldn't find it for a minute. Here we go. And sweet guava. Golden kiwi. This is Flavora's golden kiwi is a nice additive, which I totally stole from Wayne. Wayne uses it a ton as just like a low percentage additive to kind of add some brightness, a little bit of juiciness, just to kind of fill out fruits. And I tried it. I single flavor tested it, a little high, maybe 2% somewhere in there. And I wasn't a huge fan of it as just a kiwi flavor, but he had so many recipes where he used it at like 0.5% or 0.25 that I finally tried it and I was like, holy shit, he's actually right. And then pear. See, most people that are into mixing know the whole FA pear for juiciness. Same thing with Anywhere Cactus. I'm just using both to kind of double down on that effect. And plus, I'm using Anywhere Cactus extremely low at 0.25. I mean, most people use it at about 0.5, so it's not ridiculously low, but it's a lot lower than I normally see it used. Here we go. Our additive. Well. There we go. I'm trying to just dump this VG in here so we can get going. Well, that didn't work very well. All right. Clean this off a little bit. I also have a couple of things to show you guys that Addy Tooney sent me. There we go. I don't know if we'll build them up tonight, but I definitely want to show you guys what he sent me. Both of them, I was shocked and kind of blown away that he sent them to me. I want fresh guava and I'll probably get it, but I have 500 mils of sweet guava untouched sitting in inventory. Jesus. I mean, hey. It smells so good. All right, let's go ahead and rewick this bad boy. The nitrous, probably my favorite single coil atomizer out there. Although it's kind of hard. There's like so many really good single coil addies out there. Like the Hadley's kind of fucking hard to beat. Nitrous is hard to beat. Elder Dragon is hard to beat. The Wasp Nano is actually hard to beat. Whoa, why did I cut that so damn long? What is wrong with me? Let's save that for another single coil wick job. All right. Rabbit SQ is underrated. I never liked it. I have one somewhere. I think I've used it maybe 2 or 3 times. And I just did not like it. I did not like the flavor off of it. Maybe I just built it up wrong. I don't know. Or maybe I just didn't use the right coil with it. Right liquid. Who the hell knows? I should probably dig it out and try it again. Because you're definitely not the first person to say that they thought that atomizer was way underrated. But I never had much fun with it. All right. Recurve with a 22 millimeter conversion cap. Yeah, that is a banger. One of these that Addy Tooney sent me, he used as just a single coil. So this coil is 0.21. I'm never a huge fan of like single coil that's like 0.35 or even higher. I don't really know why. Maybe in a Boro setup, but even in Boro, I tend to go 0.2 to 0.27, 0.26, somewhere in there. All right. I think that ought to do us. Now we can see. Oh my God, it smells amazing. Like just the room note off that. All right, here we go. This one is Guavagasm. Love that name. That's damn good. Hmm. Really good. If you like guava, this is definitely a damn good recipe. I might actually, let me look at this again. Come on. Where are you at? I might actually turn fresh guava down just a little bit. And then turn sweet guava up by the same amount. So like maybe turn fresh guava down to 1% and then pump sweet guava up to 4.5. Just because the little bit of funk with fresh guava is normally really good on its own. Here, mixed with the sweet guava, and then I'm also thinking the pear cactus combo, it gets a hint of a green note. Now it may kind of steep out or mix out. Didn't really shake the living crap out of this too much, so it may go away by tomorrow. I'm actually going to assume that it's going to, but if not, that's probably what I'll do before I make this recipe in particular public. But that aside, the rest of it tastes amazing. Yeah, I think it's just it needs to steep out because even now it's less than it was initially. I think the only guava I've tried is guava jelly. Unpopular opinion, but it wasn't my favorite. Maybe it needs to be a 12 milligram. I'm vaping butter pecan right now. Cran orange pecan pie. That sounds dope. Is that a commercial or a DIY recipe? And if it's a DIY recipe, is it public? When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I get the sensation I'm eating Junior Mints. Amen. Same. All right. Let's take a look at what Addy Tooney sent me because he is an amazing bloke. Basically, he kind of reached out through Tim, an advocate for liberty. He messaged me and said, "Hey, have you received anything from Addy?" And I said, "No, I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I get anything from Addy?" And then I guess he reached out to Addy, or Addy reached out to him, and he got my information, where I live, and all this stuff. And then he sent me a couple of things, which was awesome of him. First one is this right here, the TM cubed. That was a little note he sent me. But this was just something extremely dope to send somebody out of nowhere. And he still has a coil in it. So this one, he always vaped just single coil, at least from what his note says. I don't know where he went on this airflow wise. He didn't have this top cap. He used the 510 top cap. Like it came like this. So yeah. I have not vaped this yet. I think partially just because like it was something that Addy sent me, and so I'm like, well, I don't know if I should even vape this thing or if I should just leave it as, you know, just because I'm very grateful to him for sending this. It was an amazing thing. But I'd say eventually I will. He wouldn't have fucking sent it to me if he didn't want me to use it. You know what I mean? And it's almost orange. I know that's why he sent it. He was like, what do I have that's orange? And he was like, "That's the closest thing I got that's orange. Plus, it's an RDA. He'll fucking love it." And sent it along. And he's right. I do. I fucking love this thing. I only have one other Twisted Messes RDA, so him sending this along was extremely fucking cool. I don't even know what the serial number is. 9080 or no, 806. Nice. Very fucking cool of him. Very fucking cool of him. I do not know what's going on with Addy. I've had a ton of people ask me. I've not gotten any updates. The only thing I've been told is that he's just stepping away. He said the coil is his twisted frame staple single on the TM square base. Oh, he said this is his everyday. That's just fucking awesome. But because he sent it to me is why it's like it's been hard to touch, just because I don't know, I'm so appreciative of the fact that he sent this along. And I guess I'm a little sentimental about it, that I don't want, you know, the coil in it. He put himself and all that. I know that probably just sounds weird, but I feel like I'd be messing it up just to vape it. This was the other one. And this one is fucking dope too. And I think this is one that he altered. Coil, what's up? Yeah. This right here, the other one that he sent along, got the bottom fill. I think this is what he modified. Designed in Russia, made in Germany. Dig that tip on it too. I have not vaped this either. I have not done anything. This is probably only the second or third time I've touched this one. The Twisted Messes I have looked at and contemplated whether or not I should wick it up and just go ahead and vape the motherfucker. And then I always don't. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Okay, I have never opened this box. I assumed it was parts to this, but it's the other AFC cap or ring to the Twisted Messes squared. That's awesome. I will set that there. Let's see what else is in here. Come on, I don't want to hurt this. Sorry about that. Okay, it's various drip tips and O-rings and grub screws. Awesome. That's what I assumed was in here. I did not know this was in here. That's freaking awesome. At some point, we will build both of these up on a live stream. I'm not going to do it tonight. Basically because I've never built this up before, and I would want to kind of do it off camera and make sure I knew exactly what I was doing before I tried to build it on camera. It already has a coil and wick job in there, so I mean I could vape this right away. He's already got it wicked up, coiled up, ready to go. And then, like I said, the fill is here at the bottom. You actually unscrew that and then fill the tank and then screw it back. I know a ton of people love these cake funds, so that's an amazing gift from Addy Tooney. That's awesome. I love that man. I hope he's doing good. All right, put all this shit away. This K-Fun Light Plus. Oh, what else it says about it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just says K-Fun Light Plus. I'm not sure anything else about it. One thing I do love about these K-Funs is their manuals are extremely detailed. So it's awesome that he sent that along too. I'm gonna try and stick this piece in Twisted Messes box if at all possible. Oh, it's the light. He increased those airflow holes then. Yeah, I wasn't sure what all he had done to it. Yeah, this, I'm not gonna be able to fit it in this thing. I'll have to stick it back in the other box, but it's awesome that he sent those along. And like I said, we'll eventually build them up, just not today. Just not today. We are going to build one more thing though. We're going to build the Blaze Max. Alright. He left me a whole big note about that K-Fun, what all he modified. It was more than just airflow. I'll have to pull it out at some point before I build it. Alright, so let's go ahead. As far as the guava-gasm recipe, it's extremely good. I'm really digging it. Have you used the Max before? Yeah, I have. Dig that recipe a lot. All right. So I'm not going to do too much of an overview of everything with this Max. We're just kind of going to build it up. And I'm going to vape it on the Ampere 21, the silvered Ampere 21. And that's really going to be about it, because I will have a full review for this up on Monday. And we're going to use some handmade coils in this one. Just because I'm not like overly, I'm not hoarding these in particular. They're extremely good. I've used them a bunch. But we're going to use them in this. And they are some 0.08 Mohawks from Ohms Coils. Liam built these up. He's Ohms tips now. He makes a bunch of different drip tips. He's been doing a lot of metal ones that look absolutely awesome. But when he was making coils, he was my absolute favorite coil maker out there. And I am not a fan of Mohawks, but I do really like his. It took me forever. He sent me a couple of them, well, a couple of pairs of them. And I was kind of leery. So like I didn't really touch them for a while, because any Mohawks I'd ever used before, I did not like. I was just kind of like, whatever. But then I finally wanted something to put in a Boro bridge that I was going to use with a mech. So I wasn't real sure if I was actually going to like the bridge that I was doing. So I was like, well, let's go ahead. We can try these Mohawks and go ahead and see if I'm going to like this bridge or not. Turned out I liked the damn Mohawks more than I liked the bridge. I ended up sticking them in, or one of them, after that particular bridge in the atemporal Boro bridge, and loved it. Come on. That one not out enough. Yeah, that would be why. So yeah, I don't know why Liam quit making coils. I wish I knew. Because he easily my favorite coil maker. Probably ever. His interlock Fralians. I have a horde of those. I ordered a ton of them just before he said he was going to stop making coils. And I use them extremely rarely anymore because I don't have a whole lot of them. There we go. I cut these coil legs to 5.5. It recommends 5, but kind of like the original Blaze, I think 5.5 works a little bit better. I think that'll work. Uh-oh, it's saying they're coming out to 0.09, so something. Aha, I see it. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So essentially what I had a leg that was kind of off to the side of the grub screw. So it was getting pinched, but just barely. Once I use the ceramic tweezers to pull the leg over and then retighten the grub screw down, it went from 0.09 to 0.07, which probably about where it should be. Who made these coils again? Liam. Oh, they were called ohms coils for a while. But he quit making coils. I'm really not sure why. Now he makes drip tips. So like across social media now he's ohms tips. Actually, I want to move this a little bit. But his coils, man. He made some small mass aliens that were absolutely amazing too. Oh. Ugh. What's going wrong here? Now it's wanting to do it again. I'm pretty sure it's still this damn leg. Well, hell. All right, I'm going to take this whole coil back out and then replace it. Because now it's basically not even seeing it. Well, that's not good. Now it's basically reading it all as 0.14. So something has gone wrong. They should come out to 0.08. May have to just switch coils if this is not going to work. Yeah, it definitely does not want to. Yeah, I think I'm just going to change coils. That sucks. I've never had Liam's coils do anything like this. So I don't think they're all getting pinched well. Let me try one more thing. Lord. Yeah, I'm just going to try different coils. I don't know what's going on here, but they do not want to read correctly. Hoping it's not the atomizer for some reason, but it shouldn't be. All right, let's try these instead. Just tighten the 510 pin earlier today. It shouldn't be that. Well, yeah, it's not that. Well, need a big DNA Steam Crave mod too? Yeah, they're definitely handy. I don't ever use it to vape on, but I use it to build. Well, I mean, I guess I use it to vape on to test a build before I stick it on a mech. These will not be as low as I wanted, but that's okay. Quite all right. Now we'll see if this one comes out to be about where it should. Yep, it does. No, it does not. All clamped down the way they should be. This is driving me up a wall. So it's got to be atomizer, at least to some degree. Let's see. Yeah, it's the atomizer. Because it just suddenly jumped back up to 0.14 again. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it. We may just skip it for tonight. But something has happened with it. Because I've built this before and it did not do this. And I have 2 others and they are all fine. So let me use their tool here to check this. Yeah, no, it's not that. One more try with this over here. All I'm doing now is trying to get them pinched down like as perfectly even as I can, because they're just being Well, I think it's the atomizer that's being a pain in the ass at the moment. Let me set this down. I don't know. The only thing I can see now is this leg. On this side may not be clamped down perfect. But I feel it gripping down on the leg. And it went up. Like these should be coming out to about 0.08, 0.09. And they're not doing that at all. Try a replacement one more time, and then if that doesn't do it, I'm just going to move on from this one for now, and I will figure out what's going on with it some other time. Well, it will have to be soon because I still have a review to do. I'm just hoping this doesn't start happening with the other two that I have. No. Still, it went up again. All right, I'm going to give up on this one for tonight. The nose look like they're perfectly clamped. Like there's nothing. Nothing off about the way they're clamped down or anything like that. Not touching. Really annoying. Wonder if one of them heats up more than the other. Something's off though. I keep getting the temp protect. Huh. Threads on deck screws maybe need replaced. Yeah. The coil's a teeny bit shorter. Legs could be shorting inside the deck. It's not giving me any shorting. It gives me a temperature warning. What throws me off about it. Yeah, not shorting. I mean, now they're both glowing now. I don't know, maybe after we fire them and get all the hot spots out, maybe it'll be where it's supposed to be. I think the whole grub screws clamping down on the legs wrong, I think is probably what's going on with it. As soon as, you know, when we first started trying to fire it, this one lit up on the outside 2 coils, but nothing else. And then I'd get a temperature warning. As soon as I moved this one a little bit, started strumming them, I still get a temperature warning. Then after I move this coil again, must have gotten into at least a operable position. But I think if we probably move the coil much at all, it would start giving us that overheat, or possibly a short, but it hasn't given me a single short. Went up to 0.13. I would not trust this on a mechanical mod at all, but yeah, and now it's going all over the place. Yeah, now it's at 0.17. So yeah, I'm not going to trust this at all in the slightest. Something is definitely off. I will try and figure out what's going on. Replace the grub screws. I'm not going to do it tonight, that's for sure. But before I do the review, and then also I will mention all of this in the review as well, because all that kind of sucks. But the other one that I have done up that is in my bedroom works just fine. It is nothing like that going on at all. But yeah, I'm going to swap out the grub screws. I don't know, the insulator, at least from what I can see of it, looks fine. But I can't see all of it, so yeah. And that sucks, because well, I'm not going to say much. I'll leave it for the review. Let's just set that off to the side. Failed build. That's all right. And I really wanted to put it on this. Love the amp here. If y'all hadn't seen on Instagram, EDC Mods is about to release a new mechanical mod here pretty soon. It's a side fire. I think that's what they called it, if I'm not mistaken. 2024 quality control sucks. I will agree with you on that. I've had several things. The Asgard V2, there's the top and the beauty ring and all that to it. But the positive posts were bent on one side, so I couldn't get the grub screw out. And then once I did, that's when I really saw how bent it was. And then it just eventually broke. I ordered the stainless steel one. That one was fine, luckily. And I've got the black top to swap out if I need to use it as black. But that whole deck was just a fucking shitstorm, basically. It sucked. And then I had the same thing happen, or something similar happen with 2 different of the Eclipse dual Boro bridges. I bought 2 of those things and both of them busted. Like, badly. Don't know if I still have the last one over here. Ooh, I do. Okay. So essentially what happened with it and what happened with the other one is this platform right here bent inwards. So trying to tighten it down, it bent inwards, and now it won't touch at all. So it can't make contact at all. That's like perfectly smooth. This wheel is higher up than it is. I even tried to do it, as you can see, as a single coil, just to see if I could get it to make contact. It will not. So yeah, the other one I had, it literally broke here on the side. This portion of the metal here broke down and was touching the base here on one side. It sucked. And it sucked because when I did have this built, the Eclipse Dual with dual coils, I liked it a lot. Liked it a lot, but I can't make contact with it and that piece is broke twice. Just not gonna waste my money again. Vapors Cloud is fucking hot garbage these days. They're not impressing me, that's for sure. I didn't have any problems with the suicide mod stuff. Anything I've gotten on that side of it all has been fine, but the Vapors Cloud stuff itself has pretty much been shit. I finally got the Son. I had to buy new panels for it. These panels are from, I can't think of the name of the company for like MK Mods. And I went through like two of these. Like Vapors Cloud sent me one that was in purple to do a review for. Then I bought a black one, and they both just ended up, basically the down button got stuck. Not physically the button itself, but it would get liquid down in the circuit there. It was shorted out, and it was like the down button was constantly being pressed down. So it would kick the wattage all the way down to 0.5. And there was nothing you could do to get it to go back up. I mean, you could get it to go back up, but as soon as you let go, it went all the way back down to 0.05. Did it on two different ones. I got this one, and I used it just very sparingly. I got the replacement chips for it on the other black one, and the first one did it again before I finally realized what was really going on. Getting a ton of condensation right here, and then it would seep in through the buttons, and that's why the down button would always be the first thing that would short out. So once I got these, it allowed that kind of vapor that was coming through here not to condense on the screen and buttons, and it could go somewhere, because the normal one just completely covers up the screen and buttons, the normal panel for it. And this one has been fine, but the original design of it was horrible. And I don't know how, I mean, I had two in no time just crap out. I don't know how they didn't know that actually happened. My recurve 2, the 510 pin was corroded. It's now full-time squonk RDA. How is the Blaze Boro? The device or the bridge? Because I have different opinions about both of those. My Empire is being used as a fishing weight. My Empire has been fine. I got lucky as shit with mine. Mine works fine. It doesn't really do. It doesn't drop voltage, and I don't know. It doesn't drain through batteries like crazy or show me the wrong battery life that some people were getting. Didn't have really any of those going on too bad for a while, and then now it started to do the whole battery not being as full as it should be. Where I'm like, I know this is full. I can put it in a DNA mod, and it'll be like 100%. I'll stick it in that, and it'll say it's at like 70 or 80%. But it still works just fine, and it's not like I get less battery life, like just by time wise. It just registers it as being less than it actually is, but it still drains it down to the point it stops you from using the mod about the same amount of time. The bridge, I like the bridge okay. I think it's actually fairly decent. I haven't had too many problems with it. The mod is an absolute piece of shit. I liked it at first, and then I just slowly found so many little issues with the mod, the Blaze AIO, that it's I can't stand the Blaze AO. It's a piece of shit. The bridge though, I don't really have too many issues with. I think it has good flavor. Can be a little wonky to wick, but once you kind of get that wicking down, it's good. I like it. But the AIO sucks. But I think most AIOs suck unless you're gonna like fork out some money to buy a really good, you know, kind of DNA chip Boro. And even some of those, I don't know if I'd trust the Son DNA one. I notice now their screen on that one is open to the outside. It's not covered up, which makes me think they knew good and goddamn well that that vapor condensed and got into the board that way. And everything's on the opposite side now. So might be just because that's the way the chip is, the DNA chip, but I kind of think they knew what was going on. What sucks, I know that Graham hounded the shit out of them to fix that. Brian's the lack of response was surprising. They used to stand by their products better. They did eventually start offering replacement chips. Yeah, I would like to buy the replacement chip for the Empire just to have one, but every time I go, it's like sold out, and that's been for a while. I have not seen it in stock. I've had no problems with my Blaze AIO. I mean, that's awesome, but I've got two of them and they're both junk. They're basically fucking paperweights. But yeah, if you got something and it works and you love it, awesome. But like the Blaze AIO, I can't stand. I think the design of that thing was absolutely horrible. Especially the battery compartment. The battery compartment and that top latch for the battery thing, that was just the dumbest idea I've ever seen in a fucking AIO. To me, in my personal opinion. But again, I also think most Boro AIO suck. There's a handful that I think are good, but most of them I don't think are very good at all. Unless you're going to fork out some money to get kind of a higher end one. And again, you got to be careful there because not all the high end ones are actually any good. I do think the damn vape, the Xeon, I think that's a good one. I've had zero problems out of any of the ones that I have. And that's my go-to Boro device now. I don't really use anything else unless it's a Boro mech. But yeah, the Xeon has been a tank for me at least. But I do know people that don't agree with me in that at all because they've had all kinds of issues with it. But I haven't had any. I have a B80 and just got a Cthulhu on Black Friday. Just wanted to get an aftermarket bridge finally. Now I haven't tried the Cthulhu V2, but the original Cthulhu AIO I thought was extremely good. That was another one that was kind of a tank and it worked good. I don't know about I haven't used the V2. I've heard kind of up and down where some people like it, some people hate it. It actually gives me 2 open windows for my tar and Boro. Yeah, that's another reason I love the Xeon. Some people were talking about how they hated it for like bottom airflow because that panel covers it up. But I mean, like if you take that panel off, it still looks good. I mean, to the point they etched nitrous in there because they knew for some bridges you were going to have to take it off to really get good bottom airflow because of the way it was designed. So I just take that cover plate off for anything that's bottom airflow that I find is a little too restrictive. But for the most part, most of them work pretty damn good at the Xeon or Xeon. The 2 with the square, you got the original. The 2 with the square button was off-putting to me. You talking about the Cthulhu V2? Mm-hmm. Square button. Goes to show you how much I've... Oh yeah, that's right. It did have that square button. I had to look it up. It's been a minute since I've even looked at it. And I don't know. I love the original one, but then and I love the 520 bridge that they did. I think that's one of the best ones probably ever. But then other bridges they've done, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like they're not my speed, at least, or I don't like them. Oh, sorry about that. I need to get a different mic. This mic drives me up a wall because if you touch it, it makes a loud ass noise. I need to get one of the Shure mics. I don't use many Boros. I have 3 devices with 3 RBAs I'm happy with, half of which are either gifts or boost box winnings. Been using the non-DNA Stubby 21 with the Stubby RDTA as my at-work vape. I love it. I haven't had any problems with the Stubby really either. It does seem to burn through batteries quicker than most other Boros that I have, but I have the original 18650 Stubby, the orange one. I don't have any of the 21s or the Monarch or any of those. But I like mine. It's another one of the Boro AIOs that I actually kind of dig. I wish it didn't burn through batteries quite so quick, but you know, it is what it is. As far as bridges go, Boro, I don't really use anything anymore other than the atemporal, be it the original one or the Xeon one. This is the Xeon one that has dual-sided airflow. That one, and I really like the Ponte, and I like the this one, the Kylan M. Both of those, of course, are mesh, and you know, a lot of people don't like mesh, but I do, so I dig both of those, especially the Ponte. But if I'm going to use a Boro bridge, it's pretty much going to be the Ponte or the atemporal, and that's about it. Took me learning MTL coils and wicking to really start liking my Boro. I can see that they're definitely built for restrictive lung and MTL. I think if I liked MTL more, I would probably love Boros. I mean, that's really initially what they were designed for, is MTL. So I would probably like it better that way. And I kept hoping you had more and more kind of mech Boros come out. You had more and more Boro bridges that had a lot more airflow, were kind of more designed to use a lower single coil, or you had like the Eclipse Dual for dual coils. And I was getting hopeful, and then like the Eclipse Dual just crapped out production wise. Like it's not built well. And that kind of, I don't know, my interest in Boros went back downhill after that. Not that I'm not open to them, because like I said, the Xeon, the atemporal, the Ponte, the Kylan, and there's other ones too. The Tita X, I really dig that one as well. There's plenty of Boro stuff out there I really, really like. And usually if I stick to kind of the RDTA style or the mesh, which are usually also RDTA style, the Droid is another one I really dig. I like it, but because I don't really like MTL, I don't get the most out of Boro stuff. I will say that for sure. Yeah, the atemporal Boro RBA with only one-sided airflow, and the Xeon RBA with two-sided airflow. I use the single airflow the most. I probably do too, because it fits in more. It works better with most Boro devices. So like if I'm going to use it in something besides the Xeon or besides a mech Boro that just is completely open, it will work. The single-sided airflow works better. It has a better pull, better flavor. Like if I'm going to stick it in something like the Pulse V2 or the Pulse AIO 0.5, or really anything else like that, the The Son, even though the Son has a ton of airflow on the side, the single sided atemporal works better in it than the dual. I don't know why I like MTL on Boro. I mean, that's great because that means, you know, Boro's kind of wide open for you. Anyone that likes MTL or restrictive direct lung. Just for me, it's kind of, but I like, you know, even restrictive direct lung. I'm kind of like, it's got to be pretty damn good in restrictive direct lung for me to really like it. I'm very much a you know, full direct lung kind of person. I have the Pulse 3, the 18650. Nice. Gotta go to sleep. Much love to everyone. Thanks, Sorteal. No problem, Jason Vapes. Glad you fucking came out, man. Sorry the mechs didn't work out. I was really hoping to at least vape on that, show it off a little bit to everybody before the review, but guess I'll get it figured out before then. Want to get a side-by-side for my Dead Rabbit MTL2. I want the Parsons to be around a little longer before I go in on it, though. The Parsons does look pretty good. I just don't, I'm not a big side-by-side person. I've got the, oh Lord, I can't even remember what it is. The Mech Life and Mr. Just Right one, the Paramore or whatever. Paramount, I can't remember what the fuck it's called. That side by side, I like that one. I've got another one. I can't think of what the hell it's called for the life of me. But I just don't use. I don't have a lot of addies that I use frequently that fit a side by side. It almost, I don't know. To me, it's like it has to be an RDTA or an RTA of some type. So it limits what you can use on a side by side. So I guess that's why I never really got big into them. But the Parsons does look pretty damn cool. Got this sturdy to use with the tall boy tank, and it doesn't fit. The tank is too big, and the tall boy is too small. Damn. Sorteal requires a 26650 side by side. Damn straight. Heard a lot of people having problems with the DNA 80 chip. That sucks. Nitrous RDTA would probably fit nice. Yeah, it probably would. I would probably want to try the profile RDTA. Like any side by side, as soon as I see it, I'm like, that's the first atomizer I think of. Is I'm like, let's try the profile RDTA on it, because I fucking love that thing. That's one of my favorite atomizers ever. DNA 80 is the new. I think it's the newest one. Yeah. What kind of problems? Like, I haven't heard anything, but also I haven't really been looking at too many DNA 80 chipset mods. So I'm curious, what are the issues people are reporting? I haven't gotten an RDTA yet. I know I'll just leak it everywhere. Probably not the nitrous RDTA. It's kind of like the perfect RDTA for somebody that either isn't sure that if they like RDTAs or not, or they want something kind of RDTA size for something, but they really just want to use it as a dripper. It's about the perfect RDTA for that. Although I still wish that Dan Vape would release like a 25 millimeter nitrous. I just want a nitrous I can put dual coils, low resistance in, and use it on a mech without the thing becoming red hot in no time. Battery loss and not reading ohms right. Well, damn, that's a big issue for DNA. That's its biggest thing, is being super accurate on ohms and being super accurate on your battery. Huh. I wonder what's going on. I know one thing that sucks is I can't use the Evolve, the DNA software with this to change. Like, I would love to change it to where it didn't go down by 0.1 increments or up by 0.1 increments. Would love to make it to where once you get past 25 watts, it just went in 1 watt increments after that. And I know you can do it with the DNA, but for some reason, this particular one, it will not see that. The software won't even see that it's there. I don't know if that's a Steam Crave issue or if it's just I've had this so long and it's gotten beat up so much that it's just no longer going to register with the software. The new DNA chips are too accurate, making them not ideal for Boro devices. There's so many variables with Boro setups that resistance readings fluctuate greatly. I could see that because, yeah, that's definitely true. But then everyone wants to stick a DNA in a Boro. Kind of the thing, like, I don't know. I like that Zion because I have had zero problems with the chipset in it. It's built like a tank. But then the other Boro devices that I tend to really dig tend to be mech. So battery issue is something else though. Huh. What, did Vapors Cloud manufacture it? I didn't know this was going to turn into a Vapors Cloud hate stream. I like Vapors Cloud. I just wish they would up their quality control a little bit. I'd like to be able to buy an Asgard 2 and not worry it's going to bust on me in a matter of days. But I kind of wondered with them, as soon as they started releasing like the Shift pre-built coil Boro tank and then the Shift sub-ohm tank and all that kind of, like, as soon as a company that's known for rebuildables and mechanical mods and big fat, you know, if they're going to build regulated mods, they're going to be big fat ones. Once they start doing a bunch of sub-ohm and pre-built coil stuff, that's like the first sign to me that that company is about to go downhill. Watofo is a prime example of that. Used to really like Watofo. They were like one of my favorite Chinese companies. Even though that's probably a little bit of an oxymoron, but they were one of my favorite Chinese companies, at least. And then they just started releasing, you know, more kind of well, really for them it was more, they started releasing the pods and then kind of I did like the idea of like the build your own pre-built coil kind of thing that they did there. But again, if you're a rebuildables company, why even bother with that? Just keep pumping out rebuildables. But I mean, I guess I get it. There's more money in all that other stuff. Then they went to disposables and it was over for Watofo. I think it's in the firmware. The chip is stripped down to only replay and not customizable. I don't know. I'll definitely have to look that up because I'm interested in that. Nitrous RDTA was my first ever RDTA, and I was worried and skeptical. It's a super easy wick. Yeah. It's ridiculously easy to wick. And since it uses the mesh wicking rods, it works perfect, especially considering, you know, the tank is pretty small. Tank's pretty small, so the mesh wicking rods work perfect for that. Just me, or does VGod not do rebuildable mods anymore? I don't think they do. All the stuff I use the cheapy Dead Rabbit Solo more than anything. I mean, I can see that they're like, I don't know. I mean, the nitrous, I guess, would fall in kind of the cheap side, and I used the living shit out of that RDA. The Dead Rabbit Solo, I liked overall. It was just a little too airy for me. That was its only issue, in my opinion, was it was too airy, and it was hard to cut down to the right airflow and pull that I personally wanted because of that. No, I just leave it on its side and have a lot of shed time. I don't know. I mean, like, even if you left it on its side, there's not a whole lot of liquid. You might get a little bit of run out, but it'd be nothing like, you know, other RDTAs or like an RTA, leaving it on its side and then you come back with liquid everywhere. I love my Hell Vape gear. As a newer vape, I get the Hell Vape hate, but also as a new vapor, Hell Vape got me into rebuildables. I don't have any problem with Hell Vape. And I mean, it didn't like, Steve-O, if you're still in here, didn't Nick review something from Hell Vape like not too long ago? Like, I know he was very like, no, fuck you, Hell Vape, because they kind of screwed him over. I don't really know what that was. But I thought he reviewed something from Hell Vape not too long ago. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But I thought it was him. I don't have any problem with Hell Vape whatsoever. And Hell Vape's kind of that company that, you know, because like the RDA for Vaping V2, I'm almost positive was manufactured by Hell Vape. I've never heard one way or another like, yes. Oh yeah, the Dead Rabbit NTL2. Yeah, like, so Duchess really hates them. I mean, did he have a bad issue with them or something? The one thing, all right, they made up in Indonesia. All right, well, that's cool. But like, I think what happened with Hell Vape, and I think you can probably point to Heathen as to why Hell Vape went another way when it came to collaborators. Because essentially, Heathen helped them make the Dead Rabbit. And then I think they gave him too good a deal on it. I don't remember exactly what it was that he got per RDA, but he basically became a millionaire over the Dead Rabbit. And so they lost all that money to him. And I think it was because they were at least somewhat newer and they didn't really know what the fuck they were doing. And so he kind of got one over on them a little bit. And then from there on out, they were like, fuck that. We're not doing that anymore. We'll lose too much money. He even left on his own accord. Yeah, he did. RDA B2 comes with a Hell Vape spare pack. I'm pretty sure it's manufactured by Hell Vape. It has a lot of very Hell Vapey, like threading and just machining is very Hell Vape like. So I'm pretty sure that the RDA for Vaping V2 is manufactured by Hell Vape for Coil Turd. But yeah, I think Hell Vape thought they paid Heathen too much, and then they didn't want to do that again. And I don't really know like what happened with a lot of the other ones. I know like basically what they offer collaborators went way down after the Dead Rabbit. Or maybe it was after the Dead Rabbit V2. I think it was the Dead Rabbit, because I think his deal with them was way less on the V2. But I don't know. I really think they felt like they lost a bunch of money on the Dead Rabbit that they could have had because of the deal they made. And then they made a lot lower deals. But also it sounds like they screwed a lot of people over. I don't know about some of the, like some like the Fat Rabbit with Vic. I don't really know. I know he says they screwed him over, but then Hell Vape says he wasn't supposed to talk about it, and he did on a live stream, and I don't know. I've never had any problem with Hell Vape at all. I think most of their rebuildable stuff they release is, is a decent quality. I haven't had really too many issues at all with Hell Vape atomizers, except for the Siri. The Siri was hot garbage. But pretty much everything else works the way it's supposed to. May not be the grandest machining and manufacturing out there, but everything I've got by Hell Vape has lasted like a long time. The original Dead Rabbit that I have is still going strong. Same with all the V2s. Pretty much anything that I've gotten from Hell Vape other than Siri has lasted. So I don't know. I don't get the Hell Vape hate, but also I haven't been screwed over by them. So I'm pretty sure he did. He sold off the rights to the Dead Rabbit, yeah. But he made a bunch of money, at least off the first one. Because I remember even Bogan talking about that he made a ton of money. Like everyone saying he got screwed over on, I don't know. So I guess something where when he sold the rights off, maybe to the Dead Rabbit when he left. And then even Bogan was kind of like, don't feel too bad for he. Then he made a shitload of money off the Dead Rabbit 1. And he really got a way better deal than he probably should have. But again, I don't fucking know. I don't know the exact details of any of that stuff. I don't talk to any of those people. It's just little things that I've heard here and there. But as far as just my personal experience with Hell Vape has been just fine. I don't have, other than the Siri sucked. Everything else has been good for the most part. I mean, I may not like it personally. It didn't perform the way I wanted it to. They're always built pretty decently, and in some cases, extremely well. I've never had a, here we go. Never had a Hell Vape product that had like a bent positive post and then that positive post broke as I'm trying to fix it. I've had a Vapors Cloud product do that. What else? I've never had a grub screw strip out the threading on an RDA completely from a Hell Vape product. Had that happen with a Purge RDA. So I just haven't had too many issues with them. Drop Dead 2 is constantly in my rotation. That's a damn good one too. I would say that about Thunderhead Creations as well, but then this one started to give me issues. I have a feeling it's just something overlooked. And once I take it all the way apart, I'll probably figure it out fairly quickly. But it is what it is. Pretty much everything else from Thunderhead Creations has been fairly good. Other than the Blaze AIO. All right, guys, it's what, 12:30? I've been going at this for a while. I don't have anything else to mix up. Wanted to use the Ampere 21 because I always want to use EDC mod stuff. That, like, talking about companies, I think EDC Mods is probably my favorite company out there right now because of what they want and how much they actually kind of want to rely on the public. They don't want to just kind of do whatever they want to do and the public's just going to have to accept it kind of deal. They're very much like, what do you guys want? What would you like to see? And I dig that. The only THC product, my only THC product was dog shit. Oh, what was that? What was your Thunderhead Creations dog shit product? I haven't had too many issues with any of their stuff. Now I'm curious. I'm trying to think what all they've had. At least that I've messed with and owned. What is this? Oh, that's the Blaze Boro Bridge box. I like that. The Tarn. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. It just, I don't know. The Tarn Max RDA is a pain in the ass to build and get it built right. But it seems like I can always kind of finagle it and get it right. But I was not a huge fan of it right off the bat. Or no, take that back. I was a big fan of it right off the bat because the first like 3 builds I did in it were just fine. And then after that, I kept having issues and I'd have to fuck with it and fuck with it and fuck with it. So yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that. Yeah, I forgot all about that one. I missed my Tarn 1 RTA. I gave it away to a friend that needed a tank with the acrylic bubble. They're clumsy with gear. Acrylic tank was a good idea then. As far as giving stuff away that like I miss, trying to think. Oh, I didn't give it away. I sold it, and that would be my dang RDA. I wish I still had that. Butterscotch brass screws, ohms jumping. Fixed by buying stainless steel screws, comically long 510 threads. Yeah, that sounds about right. The ohms jumping was the biggest issue I had with it. And I'd have to kind of finagle it. I don't think I ever changed the screws out. It might completely fix my issue with it if I change the screws out to stainless steel screws. I might have to try that now that you say that. But then, yeah, Steve, as far as missing something, it's definitely the dang RDA. Because I sold it to a buddy of mine that really wanted it. And I had not used it in forever. And I think my thought process at the time was like, well, I've got the Wrath. That's practically the same thing. And so I sold it. And then I was like, that's not the same thing at all. Not at all. I like the Wrath, but it's nowhere near as good as the dang. It's not built anywhere near as good. And it doesn't have as big of a juice well. All right, guys. I think I'm going to have to call it. It's 12:30. I got to be up early. Appreciate everybody for coming out and hanging out. Monday will be the review for the Thunderhead Creations Tarn Max. So hopefully I figure out what's going on with this one. If not, like I said, I've got 2 other ones that work just fine. But I will definitely at least point that out in the review, what happened there, if I can't figure out what's wrong with it. But still, it's a quality control issue, so it'll get mentioned regardless. Then I've got a couple of other things coming. I do have the Fat Rabbit Solo V2 on the way. I'll do a review for that one. A bunch of people requested that I review the .mods.x RDA, which is one that I've tried because somebody else has one. And then a ton of people kept asking me about it. So a lot of stuff is probably going to be reviews for things that normally I would have reviewed a long time ago, but where I kind of got out of it for a while. People have been asking me a lot about my opinion on certain things. So there will be a review for the .mods.x RDA, the Tsunami RDA from Geek Vape. A ton of people have asked me about that one as well. The Viking RDA, I'll do a review for that one. Pretty much all of those things are on the way to me, with a few of them I've already gotten. So there'll be more kind of standard reviews coming up, but there'll also be some more live reviews. I'm going to try and do live streams as frequently as I can. I'm not going to say I'll be able to do them every single week, but I will try my damnedest to do one every single week. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate you guys still watching, even though I'm kind of janky on release right now. I very, very much appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming out. I hope everyone has an awesome evening. Vape on, guys.
So you dance in light,